Hey guys, it's Luke Rojas. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts about the many saints of Newark, and eh, I feel like I've heard people don't like the movie. I can't really say I didn't like it. I just don't feel like it was anything memorable, anything really special. It did have the flow to it of a Sopranos episode. But this is kind of the same problem that I had with that El Camino movie that came out a few years ago for the Breaking Bad spin-off movie. It just felt like, oh, it's another episode of the show, but none of this is going to get followed up on. All these interesting things aren't really that interesting because they're not going to get really expanded on. It's just things that would happen in an episode of Breaking Bad, or things in the case of Many Saints of New York, things that would happen in an episode of Sopranos, but there's no more episodes after that for a conclusive finish, or something that actually feels like it's like it reached a crescendo. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for. Sorry, I'm fucking fidgeting with my camera. The acting was fine. I don't know what the fuck, why they promised Tony Soprano's son, his real life son, Michael Gandolfini. I don't know why they fucking promised him to be in the movie for so much, because he's only in the movie for about the last 40 minutes or so. And they spend way too much time in a flashback of when Tony's a kid. There's this unnecessary narration from Christopher that's like, it feels like they were in the editing room and they were like, fuck, how is anybody supposed to know who these goddamn characters are? And we don't want to have exposition where we introduce all the fucking characters. So let's just get Christopher to do a narration. Let's just get the guy who, I don't know what the guy who plays Christopher's name is. I think it's Michael Imperioli or something like that. Well, they get him to do this like narration, and he comes by every once in a while in the movie where he'll be like, this is what I think Tony turned into half a pussy when he moved to the suburbs. It was just like random little times he would chime in, and it wasn't enough to make him a legitimate narrator. Like Henry Hill in Goodfellas is the narrator of Goodfellas. He's always chiming in. He's giving us a lot of exposition for everything that we see, and he's explaining everything to us. Christopher is the narrator here, and he's just here to be like, yeah, that's me. That's not me. That's my uncle. These are the characters that you know from the show, but they're younger and played by different actors, so I need to explain who they are. And these are characters that you've never met, but you've heard about. All right, I'll disappear for the next 40 minutes or so until I need to chime in randomly again when you're confused of who these new actors are playing the characters. It's almost like they don't trust the audience who's watching it to be able to figure out which character is which. And then you know, I really like the guy who played Junior. I think the best casting for this movie was the guy who played Junior. He was also the bad guy in the first Ant-Man movie. I think he did a really good job, and I think the twist at the end with Junior, I'm not going to spoil it, but the twist at the end with Junior is really like, oh my god, that's something fucking totally something Junior would do. And I actually laughed really hard at it because I was like, that motherfucker would totally do something like that. And the casting for Tony Soprano's mother, I don't know who she is, I don't know who plays her, but she's really fucking good, and I really bought her as a younger version of Tony Soprano's mother, because just constant negativity. And it's not to the extent where it feels like it's a parody of the character. It really feels like just someone you would meet who's constantly negative about everything, and not like to a comedic. It's kind of comedic, but not too comical with its portrayal. It's very realistic, and it's really done very well. And it feels like a younger version of the character you see in The Sopranos. John Berthenol, I think that's how you Berthenol. That's such a bad. Bertha, no, what's his name? John. He's the Punisher. He's the Punisher. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I've got fucking spit in my mouth because I have a dry mouth. Um, what am I trying to fucking say? I really shouldn't smoke before I do these videos. Uh, he's not even in the movie for like a total of 20 minutes. He's like in the background all the time, and he's playing Tony Soprano's father. Tony Soprano's father was always such an interesting character to me because we never got to see too much of him, but he also is a very big reason why Tony Soprano became Tony Soprano, and you almost get nothing with the character. I mean, he goes to prison, and there's this pretty funny scene where they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get a maximum of 5 years and no less than two," which really isn't too bad considering that there's mobsters that go away for 10 to 15 to 20 years, and that's basically a slap on the wrist. And Tony Soprano's mother is crying profusely. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" And Tony's father is just like, "This stupid fucking." And there was glimpses of a really interesting character, and I think the acting from the guy who plays the Punisher is very good too, and I would love to see more of him. And there's a really interesting scene in the car that kind of just this explosive fit of rage he has that kind of just dwindles away quickly. It's very Tony Soprano-esque, and you can see how that melds into the character of Tony Soprano. But the rest of the movie is a very just kind of slapped together feel to it. It's not. I don't think the writing is horrible or anything, and I think the filmmaking is very well done. But again, it's just like it doesn't feel conclusive. It just feels like we watched an episode of a 10 episode season. So I wouldn't mind if there was another follow up to the Many Saints of New York, but I don't think there's going to be. I think this is probably gonna. I've heard it's getting critically panned. I personally didn't mind it. If I had to give it a review, I'd say it's like a solid. Not even a solid. It's just it's in the middle of the road. It's a little bit above the middle of the road. I guess it's like a 6.1. Nah, just a 6 out of 10. I was gonna try to like fractionize it, but it's a 6 out of 10. Movie, which isn't bad. It isn't. It's some people can consider it to be good. To me, it's just an all right movie. And as a Sopranos prequel that everybody was expecting and really hoping for, I'd say it's a 4 out of 10 because it is a bit disappointing that that after all this waiting for a continuation or of some type of spin-off to the Sopranos story, it's really underwhelming. So that's kind of my thoughts. I'm sorry if I seem spaced out and I'm stuttering all over my words, and I'm like fucking dry mouth. God damn it, a cotton mouth. All right, peace. I fucking suck.